Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. This is the Ramsey Show After Show. Three. So what you're watching is on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. My financial content is right below the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists. The Ramsey Show After Show playlist right there. And right below that, the Answering Your Financial Questions, which is my 8 p.m. stream. And on days that I can't do the after show, I often do the 8 p.m. stream here with the Answering Financial Questions. So today is number what for the after show? 582 today. Music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including, I guess Dr. John Deloney was the co-host today. And so he's got 2 PhDs, 2 more than me. Plus he's got some other certs, John Deloney. An ode to My Sharona by The Knack. That again is from the 1900s. Sorry about that, kids. Market report, and we are up today. The Dow down 0.1%, but NASDAQ up 1.21%, being led by the Alphabet, which is up 8.7% almost. And they, of course, own the Google and the YouTube, and they had some kind of favorable ruling, in some antitrust suit. So, okay. Just because a company is making something the best or doing something the best, or most people decide to use that company, that doesn't mean there's any antitrust going on. So government do be doing some overreaching on some of that antitrust stuff. I'm sure it legitimately has happened before, but it is not the case always. And especially you gotta be really concerned when it's actually somebody that is just the most used. They're the most used browser. Google, the most used browser. So sorry, somebody can make a better one and everybody will switch maybe, or they won't, even though it is better. So that's against capitalism. Don't antitrust against capitalism, people. Look, that might hit 9 today. Let's see if it already did, maybe. Hey, oh, I can't. It might have hit 9 right there at 10:03 a.m. It might have hit 9 right there, since it's almost at 9 now. Fun times. Oh, and let's see if it says anything. 9% after Google avoids breakup in antitrust case. Yeah, why? Why? We can't have YouTube and have the best search engine, the most used first search engine. We can't have both of those. Why not? Why not? Dumb. Alrighty, and let's go back. What do we have to say today? But we want to check. So the market's up today. So let's check the U.S. dollar. Oh no, the rest of the world, everything up in Europe, mostly down in Asia. And let's see that U.S. dollar, down to the euro, up against the Japanese yen though, down to the British pound low, down to the Canadian dollar, and down to the, I don't know, up against the Canadian dollar, but it's just barely. So that might have just changed while I was looking at it. It does sometimes. It does changes right when I'm reading it, and makes what I'm saying wrong because they switch places. And being 0.02%, that's a very low percentage, so that can easily change. As you can see, the actual number on that would be 0.00028 cents. So that's not that much at all. But the Australian dollar mate is up against the US dollar. Main page. Nope, that didn't take me back. There we go. That's the main page. And so NASDAQ up the most, of course, being helped by that alphabet, but that's not all of it. Obviously, there's other things that are going up. What else? Salesforce and Broadcom this week, Salesforce today, Broadcom tomorrow, reporting. Apple up 2.88%. And these also might be up because they should be up because they shouldn't have come down yesterday. 0.39, 0.33, and Tesla up 3.71. Tesla not a stranger to almost always the change is going to be more than 1%. Oh, let's see what the news is. United plane at San Francisco airport collides with another jet while pulling back from gate. Got to be careful. Macy's shares jump 20% as retailer tops earnings estimates, raises outlook. Okay. But who just did that and they didn't? Oh, NVIDIA just did that. And they went down for some reason yesterday, but they topped earning estimates and they raised the outlook for the next quarter. And but they went down for some reason. I don't know why. Amazon will restrict Prime benefits starting October 1st, and I believe that's where you can have things shipped to a different address other than your home address. I think that's what that case is there, where they let you do that before. I guess they're not gonna do it anymore. There are fewer. Do that. Okay. Fewer and fewer jobs available for U.S. workers. All right. If they say so, and then next week they'll revise the numbers and say, "Oh, our bad. The numbers were wrong. Dumb." Don't put out the numbers until you're sure. The canary in the coal mine is singing as global bond sell-off raises national debt concerns. Who's concerned about it? I don't think the government's concerned about it. No one that can do anything about it is concerned about it, I don't think. AI startup Flock thinks it can eliminate all crime in America. Alrighty then. Oh, the name of it's called Flock. Okay, that's a lofty goal, dog. That's a big ask right there for a wish. So, but if it can, great. Any news on the NVIDIA maybe today? Let's see. NVIDIA up 0.35%. Warns of legal risks on missing regulations for U.S. 15% AI chips fees. Legal risk on missing regulations for U.S. 15% AI chips fees. All right. That's probably a little above my pay grade to comment on. Even if I knew what kind of regulation that they would be looking for, I don't know. So yeah, so no breakup for the Google, fortunately. They are running just fine the way they are. They don't need to be split up. Let's do some questions. And these I will be able to answer. Most of them. AOP acid. Should I pay off my car or sell it? You can pay it off if you can pay off all your non-mortgage debt in 3 years. If you can't, that's when it's time to sell cars and sell houses. Last July, I bought a 2024 Honda Civic SI for $37,500. Today, my balance sits just below $23,000. However, I have since bought my fiance a car. Oh, I did this one already, I think. Yeah. Fiance a car for $8,500, and that was a no. So you're doing it wrong. you need to tell her, oh, I'm sorry, I did it wrong. And she might not be your fiance after that, but you say I did it wrong, and so I'm gonna have to sell that car. Or you sell your Honda Civic, and then you say I'm gonna have to drive that one because I gotta sell my Honda Civic because I have other financial plans. I have other financial goals like paying off debt, like if you have a lot of other debt instead. But it doesn't look like it. 31,000, so it looks like yeah, it's just those two cars. And that immediately gets you out of the 23,000 and that would immediately put your debt at 8,000. So assuming you can get 23,000 for the 2024 Honda Civic, and I believe those do hold value. So check the Kelley Blue Book on that and do private sale. Do not take it to a dealer. If you take it to a dealer, you are taking money out of your pocket and putting in the dealer's pocket. So go through the extra trouble to sell at private sale and make the extra money. Keep the extra money. Income around 75,000 a year. Should I pay off my car for a journey that looks to be about 2 years to be debt free, or should I sell my car? If you can do it in 2 years, that's under the 3 years, and so that would seem to be okay. But you should not have bought your fiance a car. You don't do anything with finances regarding a fiance. You wait until you combine all of your income together as your wife, and then maybe you both use all of your money together to buy a car. So, and we don't do financing anymore. So, I've since bought my fiance a car so when are we going to do a thing called baby step 0, which granted is not here, but it means you're going to stop doing financing. You're going to stop doing loans. You're going to stop doing credit cards. Stop it. When are we going to do that? That would be more important but I mean, you can do either one of these since you can pay the debt off in 2 years. But it will go faster if you sell the Civic and you drive the whatever it is. What is it? A car, just 8,500. Not worth given the brand, I guess, since it's not a Honda or something like that. No need to put that down, I guess. Trick strategy, need advice. Love my girlfriend, but her 190K debt, her parents, and financial ignorance have me stuck. I did do this one already. Any single one of these things is a good excuse to not continue the relationship. But also this guy, this guy also, because this guy thinks that because his parents helped him out with student loans, that her parents, and her dad specifically, should sell one of his rental properties in order to pay off her student loans. Okay, so ding, 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 paging Dr. Cloud, paging Dr. Cloud. Dr. Henry Cloud wrote a book called Boundaries, and that's what everybody in this situation needs, it seems like. So this guy is no saint himself. Trying to run things that another family does, it's none of your business. So, but what is your business is whether you continue this relationship, and it seems like the parents involved, and her financial ignorance, I guess, and not wanting to learn if she's not willing to learn, but also you're ignorant as well. So you're no gift yourself. But any one of those reasons is fine to not continue that relationship. Student loans, the Rush 2941. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years, hopefully not living together. If so, you're doing it wrong. I'm 27, he is 25. I recently graduated college in December 2024 with my degree in health science, trying to find a job in the field I wanted to go into or just a job in general, has been impossible. Okay? Well, what this is another shining example of a reason to not take out student loans. People justify it by all kinds of saying all kinds of things, but they say, but if I get the degree, then or no, they say when I'll get the degree, but some people don't get the degree, and that's even more dumbassness because they owe the student loans on top of not being degreed and wasting all that time when they could have been working full time. If they weren't also working when they were attending class. So, but you're not guaranteed, even if you finish at the top of your class. Congratulations on being the valedictorian. But that doesn't mean you can get a job in the field, or even you might have a problem getting any job at that point. And so, do you feel great about taking student loans on now? That was dumb as crap. That's a reason why you don't do that. I mean, it's bad enough if you are out the money and it doesn't do you any good, as in you don't graduate, you never finish college. That's dumb, and you still got to pay them back. If you do graduate and you get a job in the field, or you can't get a job in the field, you still have to pay the student loans off. And if you're having trouble getting just a job in general, which you're not looking hard enough, if you can't, at that point, guess what? You still got to pay the student loans off. So that's why we don't do student loans. I don't know if you've heard of Mr. Ramsey. Oh, look where we are, reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And so something brought you here. So Dave Ramsey is the no debt guy. So how about we do a little thing called no debt from this second on? And should have done that started that way long time ago, as well as I should have before I did. The job market sucks at the moment. Excuses. So I've been working 2 jobs that bring in okay income. I mean, you do what you got to do. You can continue to look for a better job for you while you are still working those 2 jobs. My boyfriend and I got a place together. Boop, boop, boop. You should not be doing that. One moment. Sorry to be rude. But, expecting a text from my boss. It was just Sonic. What is today? Wednesday? No, Tuesday, I think, is half price burgers, I believe. So I don't know what it is today, but anyway, where were we? Sucks at the moment. Justification station for your dumb crap. Look harder. Continue to look while you work those 2 jobs. Boyfriend got a place together. You should not have done that. Last year, and right before our lease was up, we decided that it was time to have a financial talk because the repayment on my student loans were coming back. Let me say that you can say whatever you want to. You can type it so you don't have to do the little preference thing there. Let me say in something that is written, that somebody is reading. That might be tied or maybe even worse than the "to be honest" all the time. That when I first started college, I had no one to teach me about student loans, no one to pay for my college, so I was young to... Yeah, you also didn't try to learn anything about it as well. Otherwise, you would have realized it. So what you can do, they have a great thing called the Google. Fortunately, they didn't get antitrusted away today. But there's a thing called the Google, and you can put, what are the drawbacks to student loans? You could put that into the Google. And that would tell you what the drawbacks are to them. Oh, and took out way more than needed. Oh, about 75K in private too. I might have done this one too, because all this sounds very familiar. Okay. Oh, the boyfriend's been really pushing you to pay off the loans as fast as I can and put all that in. Well, I don't disagree with him because having debt is awful. No one wants to be in debt. trying to buy a house, car, raise a family, etc., then why did you take out the student loans? You didn't know it was awful to be in debt at the time? He doesn't seem to understand it's not that easy, and especially in my situation, I have a stable job and stable income. Your two jobs aren't stable. I've been paying as much as I can. Okay. Well, I do understand his point and agree that I need to pay off as much as I can. I need to pay as much as I can off. Yeah, since he has no debt, I don't think he can truly grasp. Oh, yeah, and so what I said about this, I think he might be able to grasp how difficult it is, and that's why he doesn't have any freaking debt. Because he either already paid it off or was smart enough to never have any. So I think he might be able to grasp it. And he wants you to pay it off, and which is good because you're not married and you shouldn't even be living together. But you are the one that agreed to do that, so all that's on you. Facing a big problem and I need help. I don't think wrath of nothing. I don't think we did this one yesterday on yesterday's after show. I'm facing a big problem. At least, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, so yeah, today after show, also on the 4th and 5th, so that would be Thursday and Friday. Both will be after show, so 11:05 a.m. And yes, the Ramsey 24/7 channel will still be on. But they still do the brand new show, which was recorded yesterday afternoon or the previous weekday afternoon, and that's still at the same time. Do I have it is in the right spot. Cool in the gang. All right. I did not turn. That's all right. I'm lit enough. I'm lit. Don't need the ring light on the webcam. Back to the question. If there's a big problem and need help, basically where I live, our only option is one broker for U.S. stocks and index funds such as VOO. And are index funds advised? Not for retirement, it's not. And that's all you should be doing until you are on baby step 7. There is $0 in fees. However, on Irish domiciled ETFs such as CSPX, it would cost $19.99 per trade. I would stay away from those then. So why do CSPX? And that might be an index fund as well, and so you should be not doing that. But other than that, you would do the best you can, but not at $19.99 per trade, because you're supposed to be doing it like out of every paycheck is the idea. That way you buy when it's on sale, when it's down, and you're also sometimes buying not on sale when it's at a new high. As you know, U.S. ETFs such as VOO have 30% on dividends, while the Irish domiciled have 15%. Does VOO have 30% on dividends? I don't know that to be true. If you are in my shoes and currently 31 years old and looking to invest let's just go ahead and Google that. But also, you don't just chase dividends. You go with the most money overall. You don't just chase dividends. VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, does not have a 30% dividend yield. Instead, it has a dividend yield of approximately 1.18% as of September 2025, with a potential for a 30% withholding tax on its dividends for non-U.S. investors. Okay, and so that might be what the person meant. Might be from Scotland and not from the United States, sound like. Or was that Ireland? I don't remember. Anyway, for non-U.S. investors without a tax treaty, a 30% tax is withheld on U.S. source dividends from ETFs like VU. Yeah, well, you don't chase dividends. And of course, for retirement, an index fund is not going to be the deal. The annual dividend payments relative to the price share of whose current dividend yield is around 1.18%, not 30. So yeah, so he's talking about a different thing. Have 30%. Okay, so he said about fees, I guess, because he was in generally talking about fees and the cost of per trade fee. And then I guess the next paragraph, I guess that's one line, it says, and as you know, have 30% on dividends, and that may be fee right there, or tax. Anyway, 31 years old, looking to invest at least 25 plus years. Which ETF? None. I would do a managed mutual fund that beats the index, and you're supposed to do 4. You're supposed to split it. You're supposed to do 15% of gross income, and you split that 4 ways, and those go into international, small cap, mid cap, and large cap. So 25% each of that 15% of your gross income. So I thought about going for VU until I reach a certain amount where the dividend yield outweighs the, I guess whatever you have to do to get it done in another country, but that's dumb. Defect to America where we don't have that stupid crap. No other brokers where I live have non-U.S. stocks, and many people where I live had problem withdrawing from Interactive Broker. Are you talking about like if you join, like does Fidelity, can you not open a Fidelity account? It's possible. It's possible you can't open a Fidelity or Vanguard or anything like that. But VU is the Vanguard S&P 500 index fund. Forgot to mention, regardless of ETF, there's no tax on capital gains where I live. Okay, that's interesting. So that wouldn't necessarily reflect anything. That would just be, I guess, a bonus for you in retirement when you would be taking this out. Assuming this is not some kind of savings account in the market the gentleman is trying to do. Assuming a gentleman. So yeah, Ireland, I do not know. Isn't that where we decided it was? Or you said it, the Irish domicile. Yeah. So Google how to buy U.S. mutual funds from Ireland. Google that and see if there's anything that you have to do about that. But again, you don't just chase dividends, but he's not saying it's a dividend. It's just a 30% tax on the dividend amount. And especially, how about you get one with no dividends, and then you don't have to pay the 30%, and then you still get the no tax on the capital gains? Wouldn't that be more money? Say yes, because that's the correct answer. I finally got around to it. My brain caught up. So that's your big help. Congratulations. Jolly adhesiveness, staying motivated. 49. Jolly adhesiveness. 49. Hey everyone, hi guys. Finally buckling down on the baby steps. So if you just started buckling down now, you don't ask about staying motivated. Why are you having problems staying motivated at the beginning? Lawyer who had 175K in student loans earlier this year, but now around 139. Okay, so may not have been completely buckled down, but paying off $36,000. since January. I mean, that's pretty good, but who knows what the income is. Maybe maybe not buckling down, maybe not watching expenses and sending all that money to debt instead of eating out, that kind of thing. So who knows? Let's see. Let's get the more information. Making payments of $3,300 a month. Interest just started accruing last month, and interest rate is 6.5%. Graduated law school 21. I don't know what that means. At 21, maybe. And currently salary is $97,000 and expecting a 20 to 30K bonus this year due to all of the extra hours put in. Great. I plan on putting all of that towards debt. Great. That's exactly what you should do. The extra work is not what's killing me, but just the thought that I will never pay these things off. Well, you're dumb then. I mean, you're a lawyer. If you can pass the bar, you can pass the bar, right? You can get through law school and you can pass the bar. Then you can realize, oh, if I paid off $36,000 in, what is it? We're in 9 now. So $36,000 in 8 months or less. I paid off $36,000 without really trying, because it says finally buckling down. I don't know if that meant since January or since just this past month. Who knows? Who knows when it was? But you should be able to do the math and see that, yes, you will be out of debt. So the thought that you never will pay these off, I mean, counter argument with yourself, say argumentative or any other lawyer tricks that you can do with yourself. And, just tell yourself, objection, say objection to that. Say objection to when you get not motivated. Say objection, Your Honor. And if the non-motivated version of you says objection back, then you say overruled and you keep going. I don't want my headspace to be all debt focused because I have an almost 2-year-old son who I want to spend time with when I'm not working and be physically present. What's stopping you from doing that? Does that mean you're not going to be working extra hours anymore? Or you won't be working quite as much? I mean, that's fine too. The idea is that you can pay off all of your non-mortgage debt within 3 years. And if you can do that, then you don't have to really work extra, or, it's still good to get it done as soon as possible, of course. I just feel like, for me, with the interest rate, what it is, I will never pay these things off, and I need some encouragement. You will pay them off. You may have to miss some time, as you may not get to spend as much time as you want with your son. And I understand that. You might not get to spend as much time with your son as you would if you weren't trying to pay these off fast. So, I mean, take what you've been putting in extra now and maybe cut it in half. Figure out what you need to do to get it done and max within 3 years. But again, as soon as possible is the advice. So I will never pay these things off. That's just give up mentality. Do you go into your court cases like that? Do you treat like what you do? I don't know. It could just be business law or something like that. But whatever it is, do you go into your court cases like that? Is that how you argue your court cases? I don't think so. So quit being dumb, quit being negative, and realize that you are making progress, even though the interest is not fun. And yeah, you darn well should have started paying it off a lot sooner, or better yet, not even taking them out because of the interest rate. You knew the interest rate, or you should have. A lot of people don't pay any attention to any of that. They just sign up for student loans and are done with it at that point. So Yeah, I mean, all of this is on you. This is on your fault, all of it. So you have to fix it as well. And so that might cost you some time with your son, but not all the time. Don't be a drama queen and say, "Oh, I can't spend any time with my son." No, that's bull crap. Binary Patrick Dev. Okay. Rounding the corner on baby step 2, 3, and starting a budget. You're either on step 2 or you're on step 3. You're not on both of them at the same time. I guess mean going from 2 to 3, maybe. Starting a budget, of course, as I said in the preview for this question. Doing a budget is part of baby step 0. So you're a little behind, my friend. Just kind of found Dave Ramsey. Already pretty much living without consumer debt besides one car. So, so you don't have to say already pretty much living without consumer debt besides one car. You could just say debt is one car. We don't need all of this justification station, virtue signaling stuff. Already pretty much living without consumer debt. Hate it. Hate it, kids. Just be concise. You can be concise and still say everything that you need to say. One car we're working on now, okay? And that would be why you're on step 2. And what does this mean? Pretty much. Is this the only thing, or is there some other crap too that you left out? So that worries me there, because people are nutty, and you could say pretty much. You could have 5 credit cards in addition to this car. My question is, how long after you get an initial budget should it take to really hone in on if the numbers are right? We got everything set up in a budget app, but it seems like it's going to take a month or 2 to really get a picture of things. No, it's not. You can get a picture of things by looking in your bank account, and that will tell you how much money you have spent at restaurants and at grocery stores, etc., and on everything, electricity, all that stuff. Did you not look at your bank account? Are you just guessing what food and electricity, etc., might cost every month? Or did you go by some actual numbers that with the data that you have already, or that at least the bank website has? You may not be aware of them. So that's no. That's not the difficult part. So you screwed up if you didn't do that and check the bank account to get those actual numbers, what you spent last month. And that will give you an idea what you're doing. And yeah, probably all of them are going to be too much. And you can probably say it. You can probably save on electricity some ways. If that's a high bill, you can cut some things out that will save on electricity. You can address that. And so anything you have a problem with, you can address it. Most people, it's food. You got to buy the cheapest stuff. Quit buying the most expensive stuff. And so, knowing the numbers, what you have spent, that's the easy part, because you can just look in your bank account for that. The hard part, though, is coming up with a realistic number that keeps you from like buying the most expensive stuff. And eating out 2 or 3 times a week, and knowing like which thing to cut out, which would be, of course, that eating out stuff. That's what you should keep. And what this is, my friend, guess what? It's baby step 2, not rounding the corner on baby step 3, so you should not be saving any extra other than the $1,000. If you have other money laying around that other than the $1,000, that all goes to your debt as well. So yeah, you're on step 2. There's no 2 going into 3. There's no gray area where they both share space. It doesn't happen like that. So you're doing it wrong. But what takes place is like you have to cut things for sure. You have to cut things down because if you don't have a budget already, you're definitely overspending in probably several areas, and that is very normal. So don't feel bad about that because you just weren't paying attention. But now you're paying attention, and the problem is some people tend to say, "Okay, well, oh my goodness, we spent $700 at the grocery store last month. Okay, this month I'm gonna set the budget for $100. Obviously, that's ridiculous. That probably can't work out unless you overspent by $600. So that would be the problem. Is some people cut it too much, and then they have a problem, and then they get discouraged. Well, that's your fault because you were not realistic. And especially the more mouths you have to feed, you're gonna have to, that takes more money to do that. But a month or two to really get a picture of things, no, you should have the picture of what you spent last time, and you should know which ones to cut out. You do need to have a meeting with yourself and be honest with yourself on what is a need. Food is definitely a need, but that doesn't mean filet mignon every night or at all if you're on baby step 2. That's a no. And there's definitely no going to a restaurant either. And so you shouldn't be even in no fast food either in step 2. Let's see. Does that sound right? It's really groceries and restaurants and Target trips that I'm not sure what it totals up to or what an average month looks like. How do you get a baseline? You look to see how much you spent at Target last month. And you can even look at the month before that and the month before that. You look to see what you spent at restaurants. And you take that down to 0. That can definitely be cut. And the groceries, you look at what you spent at the grocery store. So you do know, and all of that needs to be lowered. And what are the Target trips for? If the Target trips are just to shop, to look for things to buy, but we don't have any idea about what we're buying ahead of time, that's a no on step 2 and 3. Step 1 as well, but definitely on step 2 and 3, that's a no. So you're doing it wrong. You're thinking about it wrong. And but I mean, if you get some of your groceries at Target, don't. Walmart or Aldi's. Aldi's, not recent, but like in the past 6 months, I think, within the past 6 months, Ramsey Show sponsor. Fairwinds Credit Union is now sponsoring the studio. They have their name on the studio now. The Fairwinds Studio. But yeah, Rachel Cruz says to give yourself 3 months before you start beating yourself up on messing up the budget or not doing a good job on the budget. And so it is going to take a month or two, but not to get a picture of things that you've already spent, because you can find that in your bank account. And so many people do this. So many people that I've even coached. And they're like, I don't know where to start with a budget. Well, let's take a look at what you spent last month. Look in your bank account and see what you spent last month. And then, of course, everybody that I've had check that, they didn't check that before, and they checked it, they said, I can't believe I spent that much on everything. Yeah, exactly. If just looking at it and paying attention gives you an idea of what dumb crap you're doing by not being intentional with the money and going over what should be your budget, but you don't even have a budget. Where do HELOC? That would be nowhere. Because you see this, that it stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. And let's see where in the baby steps it would say to use debt again. To do debt leverage. To leverage the house in order to get money to buy something with. And a lot of people justify it by doing home remodels. Well, it's for the house. Well, then you don't take money away from your equity of the house. You save up for that. Quit being dumb. And Dave is the no debt guy. Remember, HELOC is debt. Also, no debt leverage. I'm a little confused about which baby step. Oh, actually asking which baby step a HELOC belongs in. I think it's in baby step 6. No, it doesn't exist in the Ramsey advice at all, except the part where if you already have one, you pay it off. But if you are following the Ramsey advice, that's a no on a HELOC. That means you do without whatever dumb crap you're trying to do with the money. Also, what about a personal loan? That part of baby step 2 and baby step 1 flare. And of course, it's another time we have to play it, guys. America's favorite game show, Dumbass Troll, or just normal financial person. Normal person doing finances. Which one? It's so hard to tell. Because it could easily be a troll that knows darn well the advice is no debt. Could be a troll. Could also be some normal person that saw something about a HELOC somewhere. Maybe he got snail mail from the bank asking him if he wanted one. Maybe he saw a tic tac, as Dave says. That said, oh, here's a hacks how you can get money. So on baby step 1, you're not spending the type of money that you would get from a HELOC to do anything. You do not tap the house's equity until you sell the entire house. Quit being a dumbass. If you're a troll, shame on you. You're dumb, get a life. And if you're normal, you're normal. What can I say? You're normal. Normal people suck as well. And I used to be one of those. Ice-T474, keep my gold to pay off my car. The time to invest in gold is never, according to Mr. Ramsey. So even if you didn't have debt on the car, that would still be sell the gold and do another investment with it. If you were on step 7, that would still be sell the gold and do that. But since you have that, you are debt leveraging the car loan in order to have the gold. So that's going to be a no. I have 1 ounce of gold that I have put away, as well as $1,000 in cash after I started following Dave Ramsey's baby steps. Okay. The $1,000 is correct. I don't see here where it says buy 1 ounce of gold. Or if you have 1 ounce of gold, keep it. Doesn't say that. I borrowed money a year ago from a relative to buy my car, and I currently owe $5,000 on it. My question is, should I keep the gold that is going to keep going up in value? Justification station for keeping the gold. Dumb as crap. Or should I sell it now for around $3,300 and use it to pay off my car? Yes, because you shouldn't have the gold anyway, per Mr. Ramsey. You want to follow the Ramsey advice? That's part of the Ramsey advice. No metals. I'm comfortable making payments of $500 on it. I don't care. That's not the advice. It isn't killing me. That the advice is to not keep doing dumb crap if it's not killing you. The advice is to stop doing dumb crap. I don't have any other debt and don't use credit cards. You have that car, though, and that's enough. That's still dumb. You don't get a pass for having just one kind of debt. Part of me wants to keep that gold because, as I said, it's only going up in price. I don't care. I don't care. Mr. Ramsey doesn't care either. He says no gold, but it would be the same for any investment. If you had, it would be the same as, so $3,300 is what you could get for it, right? It would be the exact same situation if you had the $1,000, but then you decided, oh, I'm going to keep another $3,300 in savings instead of paying off my debt. You see how that works? So you're being dumb as crap and you're not following the baby steps by Mr. Ramsey. You're doing it wrong. At the same time, it doesn't matter if it's not killing you. What matters is the reason you started following Dave Ramsey baby steps. You want to improve your finances, right? Well, then quit doing the dumb crap you were doing before and doing the same dumb justification station stuff. Thank you for all your guidance. I decided. Oh, I can't wait to see. After looking at Dave's thought process, he has a few videos, scenarios, almost like he said his method works because people get into debt not because they're bad at math, but they're bad at spending that too. And since this is the only debt that I had, and since I only took it because of circumstances at the time forced me to, justification station again. I'm going to keep the gold. All right, well, you can do what you want to. That is not the Ramsey advice. But then again, most people will not follow the Ramsey advice because instead they'd rather do their own dumb crap that has not been proven. He has 20 million documented success stories following his advice. Good luck. Diane D's or 007. Diane. James Diane. I don't know. Dave's take on adulting versus playing really hit me. Let's see what all this is about. I was listening to the show the other day when a new doctor called in. Age-old story. He had just finished med school. Was about to make $700,000 a year with a $100,000 signing bonus, and wanted to buy a Bentley, even though he was still $150,000 in student loan. He still had $150,000, excuse me, in student loans. Dave said something that stuck with me. Doctors spend 7+ years being the adult, grinding through school and residency while their friends are out having fun. So when they finally make it, the child inside wants to play. The problem is, if you let the child take over too soon, you just dig yourself into debt and stay stuck. Yep, that clicked for me in my own life. I'm no doctor, but I did get kicked out at 18 in my first semester of college, and I finished college at 22, and I've been working since I was 16. Me too, Bubba. Lord loves a working man. So I've been adulting way earlier than most people my age, 24. Every time I feel burned out, I just want to let the child run the show, even though my circumstances don't really allow it. But the reality is, if I can stay in adult mode for just another 1 to 2 years, I can finally have the freedom to make real choices and not choices I feel forced into. It was such a powerful reminder. Play feels better when it's on the other side of discipline. Yeah, I mean, playing is, I mean, for one thing, you have money to play and play harder once you're further along on the baby steps, once your finances are better. Past teacher, 1317, moving out with nothing. Without going into details, a young adult who desperately needs to move out of where? Parents' house. I don't want to join the military or etc. Etc. covers everything else, my friend. Etc. covers everything. So, you know, some of these people are nutty, and they say, you know, I have to do this and I have to do this, but here's all the limitations that I'm going to put on that. Things I'm not willing to do. They always do that. The only thing hindering me from moving out is I do not have a vehicle, means of transportation. If I had a vehicle, I would simply get a job and start renting somewhere. What do I do? You can't do the bus. You can't get a bike. So, I mean, it doesn't say how old, so don't know how old. Don't know why they need to move out. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe you don't need to move out. So, I mean, it says past teacher, so you've been a teacher, that would imply more of an adult. It says young adult though, but I don't know. This could be anything. This could be maybe getting a divorce or something like that. And then in that case, you don't desperately need to move out. That may be the most convenient or comfortable thing, but you don't need to. So not anywhere near enough information here in 38 comments. Too many to weed through to try to get more information. But yeah, you would get a vehicle, save money and buy one cheap. So to get a job, you don't have a job now. Again, we'd have to talk about that. Why not? Advice on how to handle debt, public inflation, 58, 56. For context, I'm a 30-year-old man that moved from the East Coast to the Southwest 2 years ago. I didn't have either parents growing up past age 7, just guardian figures. I turned my life around, and that's what it's all about. 2 years ago, today actually, from addictions and substance abuse, etc. Great. Went to trade school, graduated, and I work in construction now. Fabulous. I currently don't have any savings, less than $500 total. Oh, so that's not savings. That's just like your checking account. I'm trying not to touch it so that it is savings, or you would like it to be saving. The career is promising, but I started out with low pay, $15 an hour. Currently at $16.50. We'll get a bump to $26 once I get my license in 12 months. Okay, so you got to just work the clock on that. Here's what you can do, 30-year-old man. You can get another part-time job doing something. Or do something like some kind of work at home on a computer or something like that. Figure out another way to bring in money. Cut expenses, of course. But it has debt as well, apparently. Average paycheck I take home. And how you handle it is you pay it off. And how you pay it off is you do not spend money on anything else. Except expenses that are 100% required for you to live. I currently, average paycheck, take home $1,110. Okay, every 2 weeks. So $22.20 a month ish. I currently have across the board with credit cards, student loans, and medical debt. That's not every kind of debt. So that's only 3 types. So exaggerating, just a little hyperbole from public inflation, inflating the debt types. Scores in the low 500s. We don't care about credit score. We're not getting loans anymore. But I don't think I'm necessarily worried about my scores, but rather my borrowing ability. We're not borrowing any money either, except for a mortgage for a house that you live in. And you can do manual underwriting for that, so you don't need a credit score for that. Don't need to make any big purchases right now, as both my truck and car are paid off. Fabulous. I feel like, for me, I'm drowning mostly in the credit card debt because I'll pay a good amount more than the minimum, and it's still not enough from the high interest, and my payment barely makes a dent. Then I live bare bones till the next paycheck. Yeah, and that's how it's going to be, so you got to make more money. So you got to work extra. I've been looking for a second job. There you go. But right now it's so unpredictable when I get off work. That can be a problem. So try to do something that DoorDash, something like that you can do where you set the hours or that you can do at any time. I get off at 1 p.m. one day or 7 p.m. the next. I've been looking for anything, even overnight, but I live in a smaller town. I was born in a small town. And I've not had any luck yet with a second job. I'm still going to keep looking. Yes, do that. You need to make more money. And that way you'll fix the situation a lot faster. I'm mostly at a loss of what to do. You have to bring in more money to pay it off faster. I heard personal loans are bad because it just adds to your debt. That's right. You're not going to fix debt with more debt. That is so dumb. That's like some bad tic-tac advice. What can a low income, no savings person do to gain control of their debt? You have to pay it off. You have to bring in more income. Simple as that. You have to cut your expenses to the bone. You said, then you live bare bones. You should be living bare bones 24/7. Not the payment barely makes it, then I live bare bones. So if you're not doing bare bones all the time, start. And that's the only way to do it. What did he say he has? Truck and car? Why do you need two vehicles? Why do you need two vehicles? Sell one of the vehicles and put that money towards debt. Or that gets you out of one of the vehicles if you're paying on both of them. Oh, it says, no, you own those. You own those. So you can still sell one of them and put that money on the other debt. Look for anything else you have on in your house that you bought with credit cards. Now you can sell it. PlayStation, Xbox, anything you can sell. Do that. I'm tired of having no money at the end of my paychecks to put away for savings and investments. Guess what? You're not there yet. You got to still take care of your debt. You don't get to step over your debt, idiot. I want to make a change today. Do that. Go ahead, do that. But the way to do that is things that you don't want to do, apparently. It's been like this for almost half my life. When everybody has problems, my friend. I'm sure it's not easy. I was in step 2 before, and my ex-wife and I got that done. We did get that done. We did cut spending. We did try to bring in more money as well. So shut up and fix your mess. You made the mess. You need to fix your mess. Okay? And, keep looking for excuses and stop trying to jump to savings and investments. That's not happening. You have the $1,000 emergency fund. That's it. You're done with savings and investments until step 4. Don't even think about those anymore. Stop it. Quit trying to do all things at the same time. The only thing you're doing now is living bare bones, and go even barer if there's anything else to bear down on. And get this debt paid off. That's what you got to do. That's the only thing that's going to make it better. Whining is not going to help at all. And so this is not how to handle debt, because that wasn't your question at all. I didn't hear anything, really about that. It may have started like that, but it went into, and I'm looking for a job and I can't find a job. It turned into Excuseville after that. And so I need to see a little bit more effort from you, my friend. And it's not just me, it's from what you described. All right, what should I do? I'll go ahead and do this one. Go a little over time today. Over an hour today. What should I do? Leech Ohan. Don't know what that means. So I used to have very poor control over money, like terrible. Like living above what I earned. Yeah, that is not sustainable. That doesn't work, my friend. Did you figure it out? Did you figure it out? I had an addiction to gaming, and it led to extreme living conditions where I had trouble paying rent. That was dumb crap. Do you mean like gambling, or just spending too much money on like in-game transactions, that kind of thing? I was desperate for money at a point that I sold a fully paid off 2016 car, which was a Honda. That was dumb as crap. Probably could have used it for another 10 years. Yeah, that was dumb as crap. You made a lot of dumb mistakes. We all have. Maybe not, some of us not as bad as you, and I never had any problem like that. I played too much World of Warcraft. I played too much Rift, 100%, but I didn't spend money on those games like that. And when I stopped playing World of Warcraft that much, I stopped paying the monthly fee, and I went to Rift, which was no monthly fee. and I didn't buy anything in their store with real money. I wasted that money on things that were things that were a want, or one thing that was a want, not a need. Hashtag third grade. All right, and you know what the problem is. So what should you do? Stop your dumb crap. Anyway, fast forward to early May. You mean early May? I was on the verge of homelessness before my parents gave me another chance, but since then, I'm trying to get my life back in line. I haven't touched games, great, for 5 to 6 months or so. You might not be able to play games responsibly. You might not be able to do that, so quitting cold turkey might be what you have to do. Got myself a routine, eventually got a job after teaching myself self-control and discipline, all right? Now that I have a job, because of my past, my dad wants to see my checking account as a non-negotiable to make sure I'm managing money, which I get. Yeah. Here's how it works. His house, his rules. So yeah, you shut up and put up with it, and then you get a free place to live, right? Or cheaper. Doesn't trust me yet? I wouldn't either. Great. So you get it. My plan was to follow the baby steps, and that is exactly what you should do. That is, you won't imagine this, but following the baby steps is the plan for everyone, no matter what their individual little situation is. Okay? And I say little situation because it doesn't matter. Yeah, you may have had trauma. You may have made a lot of mistakes, etc., etc. It doesn't matter at this point. What matters at this point is where you are, and now that's exactly what you want to know. What you do based where you are. You should be doing the baby steps. So you start at whatever baby step you're on, and if you have debt, that's step 2. Or if you need to do the $1,000 emergency fund first, that's step 1. Bunch of stuff in step 0 to Google it if you don't know what's in step 0. Where are we at? My plan was to follow the baby steps, save an emergency fund of $1,000. Okay, and then what's the problem then? Pay off debt, which is around $8,000. That's it. A few collections I owe and people I owe. Okay, the people you owe, you should pay off. The collections, wait till the end. From lowest to biggest with aggression. Yes. What's the problem with that? My dad wants me to not follow someone else's plan and thinks it's made by someone who's already rich and trying to scam people. I told him to create this plan. Dave was broke before. Yes, he was, and you can follow the advice without spending 1 cent. Your dad is dumb. It's very nice for letting you move back in, giving you a second chance, but he's dumb as crap. So maybe you got it from him. He wanted me to save up for a used car and then just pay off everything really slowly, like $50 to $100 a month slow. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, again, it's his house, so it's up to you. Move out then. If you can't move out, then maybe you got to do what he wants you to do. I don't know. The idea for adults is not to be living with mommy and daddy anyway. I understood getting a car first before starting the plan because I don't want to keep using my parents' car to get to work, but I don't want to pay off $8K worth of stuff for the next 10 years. Yeah, exaggeration. Objection, Your Honor, exaggeration. What was I going to say about that? Oh, yeah. The 4 walls are first before... those are part of baby step 0, and that would be housing. You have housing. Live with mommy and daddy. Transportation is one of the ones that's the 4 walls. So there's food and clothing. You don't need to buy clothes. Don't buy any clothes. But yeah, so you just need the food, and maybe they're letting you chip in for food and maybe you guys are eating all at the same time and just having you chip in a little bit, maybe. I don't know. My dad said if I didn't follow the directions, he'd kick me out of the house. Okay. I mean, if you're going to be homeless, I probably wouldn't do that. I would probably do what he says for a while you figure out how to get out of there and have a different place to live. And then you can do what you want to, which should be able to do as an adult anyway. But again, his house, his rules. Sorry for context. I make $18 an hour. It's low, but I want to make sure my mindset is better now than before. With everything I failed to do properly, I don't want to make fatal mistakes again. What should I do? I want to follow the baby steps, but I want to save as much as I can while I'm here so I can eventually pay off a house. Please advise. Sorry for the long post. Cheers. You forget about the house for now. Because that's never going to happen unless you pay off your non-mortgage debt right now. So that's first. Actually, the car is first. Because, like, even if you do move out of there, you would have to have a car to get to work still, probably. So, he's not, the fact that he thinks he has to, specifically say what you need to do financially, that's not the best situation. Again, his house, his rules. But the fact that he wants you to get a car first, that actually does jive in with the baby steps, because that is part of baby step 0, getting transportation locked down. And then you also don't lose the transportation the second you move out of the house. It also seems like if you do the wrong thing, you might be kicked out of the house. You might be out of your chances, as you said. So I would do that, and I would begin to look for a way to not be living there anymore. Save money for a car, and use their car as much as they'll let you for, going to work or whatever else, while you save money for a car. And then also you figure out how to get out of there. So yeah, I understand. Made mistakes, had an addiction, sure. Happens. Happens. What are we doing tomorrow on tomorrow's after show? Advice on which route would be good for long-term perspective. Is this recently started a condo where I followed approximately 25 to 27% of take-home pay, inclusive of it shouldn't include taxes. Oh no, that's not that's the condo stuff on the condo, not out of his paycheck. Okay. Whereas 27%, okay, and which route would be? Okay. Should I pay off the mortgage in next? You pay off the mortgage as soon as you can if you're on baby step 6. If you're not on baby step 6 yet, you should be doing, at least get through baby step 3. If you haven't gotten done with baby step 1, 2, and 3 yet, you do baby step 1, 2, and 3. And then once you're on 3, or done with 3 rather, then you're doing 4, 5, and 6 if they are applicable. You do have the condo, so 6 applies. So you would be, and here's what you have to do with your money at that point. You have to be investing 15%. So we got 27% maybe going to the condo, and then 15% going to investing. So that is what, 42%. So that leaves 58% for everything else, which should include, if you have kids and want to help them for college, and maybe if they're young, you don't have to start that quite yet, but let's assume no kids at this point for easiness, and that would be the best situation, because then you don't have to save for kids' college. Excuse me. Didn't get much sleep last night. Why am I answering it? Anyway, I'm answering the whole thing, but basically, he wants to see about the 5 years, you would follow the baby steps. No matter if you're planning to be gone in 5 years. Dave had a question like that today. You still put extra on the house because if you sell it, you get it all back. So there's no need to invest it or save it. Instead, no, put it on the house, and then if slash when you sell, then you will get all that money back. Alrighty. As I said, after shows tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday as well. And we'll see when other streams will be coming up here. And probably another Last of Us Part 2 chronological play stream tonight. I am Coach Steve Money once again, and I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you, are having money problems, if you're just doing it wrong, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation by emailing me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com, and we will work out that appointment date and time. You can also use that email address for anything about anything on my YouTube channel or anything about finances at all. Donations go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternative to the Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. Still, alternatively, a Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, and as always, subject to change. Not so much this week, though. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show, and that would be 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time is when that happens. And today is Wednesday, but we'll also be doing after shows on Thursday and Friday, September 4th and 5th. Also next week, Wednesday, September 10th. Next week, a little bit busier as it stands right now. Answering your financial questions streams, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday and or Sunday, September 6th and 7th. Probably both of them. And Thursday, September 11th. So that is the upcoming schedule, and like I said, probably until I finish it, unless I'm working at night, about 9:30, somewhere in between there, I will be doing the Last of Us streams, and probably, I don't know, maybe if I do 3-hour streams, maybe 4 more, maybe 3, I don't know. Something like that. All right. So thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, quit whining and make smart financial decisions every day.